Hey, 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 what is up? What's happening? Welcome to Free Coaching Friday. All right. Let's see. Welcome. Excited to be on here. Hope you are all doing very well. Drop me a comment when you get on here. I just noticed my Facebook banner. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Let's see. Kudos to the team on that. All right, let me share this out. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. All right, what's up, Melanie? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Bernie? All right, so I'm going to be giving away some copies of our brand new updated social media script book. And this is the old one. All right, this is the brand new one. And the content, it's not just the cover that's been updated. It's updated with all new content, all new scripts. Very, very good stuff. What to say when, etc. So I'm going to be giving away some copies of this. If you would like to possibly win, just click that share button, drop me a comment that you shared, and I'll pick a few people to win big time, win bigly. All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay. All right. What do we got? We got Ben. All right, Ben Powell gets one of our updated social media script books. Okay. Shared with your team. That's awesome. Catherine Denise Jones Jackson, which is one person, gets an updated social media script book. It's a lot of names. CDJJ, CD double J. All right, let's give it up for Portia Nindlavu. Sorry, Portia gets a updated social media script book. And if I say your name, shoot an email to support@higdongroup.com. And all right, we'll do one more. Rochelle Suggs gets one of our updated social media script books. Cool. All right, I may give away some more here in a little bit, but for now, let's get the party started. So I'll be doing a few things, and I may sound a little funny. It's just like, I think it's allergies, I'm assuming. I actually feel fantastic. I feel full of vigor and energy, but I sound a little funkadelic. So I'm going to start off. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be answering questions throughout, but I have three ladies that I'm going to be bringing on here. And two of them are women that I've coached in the past, that I want them to just share their experience of what they've been able to do since that coaching. And then we have a new special guest today that I'll be coaching. So first, let's bring up Lisa. Lisa, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So talk to me about so we did a coaching. How did that go?
So we did a coaching, I guess, maybe the week before Thanksgiving, 2 weeks before. And it was very eye opening. At the time, I was also going through a lot of things,
Sure.
we wound up coaching around more around my full-time business than we did my network marketing business. But so much of it crosses over, and it really was, I believe it was a line in the sand. It was life changing. Coach Jennifer.
Where had you been stuck? Like, what had you been struggling with?
So I just consistent DMO, struggling with mindset. Really big piece was mindset, worthiness, feeling unseen, unheard, unappreciated, overworked in my full-time career, which
And
obviously
you
was,
you work at a church, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
full-time ministry, yeah. And so literally, one couple of statements that you made, one being we are co-creators, of our story. I wrote that down and just kept thinking about that, you know. And then the exercise, I don't know what you call the exercise. I call it the CC, the 3 C's, like counterclockwise, clockwise, and just invested in doing that every night. Yes, I got dizzy too, but I didn't care. You know, I just wanted to be coachable. And then, you know, you mentioned the story. What, instead of picturing and playing in the mind movie of all the things that weren't good and all the things that were negative, that was actually attracting more of that into my life. I hadn't really thought of that. And for me to change, what would it be like to go back and they say, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing. We're so thankful for you. We appreciate you," which is funny because even though it came with a negative back uh, conversation, those exact things that I said in that exercise was said to me Tuesday
Yeah.
in a meeting. Like, "We are so thankful for you. We appreciate you. We don't want to lose you." Of course, then they followed up and said that my little side business was something I was going to have to stop, and we don't need to go there. But it was funny that those things that you told me to put out there literally were said last night. My husband even
Now,
said to me,
would you say, I'm just curious, I mean, I think I know the answer, but was it like verbatim what you had seen?
"Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what's crazy is, and that's
yes,
why I want so much. I wish people would just listen to the damn instructions,
yes,
because I've literally created, just like you're saying, I've created verbatim comments from people that, you know, and once you do that, you're like, well, damn, what else could I do? And that's what I
exactly."
want people to experience, but they keep fighting me on doing exercises and whatever.
Yeah, and that, going back, Coach Jennifer Ryala is my coach in Inner Circle, and she had me go back and watch the interview, which I didn't really want to do, but I did it, and without judgment. You know, I shouldn't have said that. Ooh, I look funny there. And really, it became a defining line. Like,
Yes.
so the funny thing is Tuesday, the statement of, you know, even though the mind movie exactly of what they thought of me was played, and it was really sweet, you know, the other piece was, you know, the other stuff. But old Lisa, I say pre Ray, post Ray, pre Ray would have had a meltdown and spent 3 days worrying about whoever hated on me and said I pressured them, which I'm the polar opposite of pressure.
Right.
um I was postured because in my head, I heard you say, "No, you're co-creator of your story, and you are worth this, and you can help other people." And so I just said, you know, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." And I didn't spend 3 days worried about it and tore
Nice.
up about it. I went home and prospected my face off. And so, you know, and then coming out of that coaching and going through Stacy Hall's training on Black Friday, I added 13 customers in November. I
Wow.
added over $800 to my paycheck in November.
Wow.
Um, you you can't make that crap up.
Yeah.
And so, and I'll be honest, I thought it was crazy myself. I mean, I'm standing
Yeah.
there turning in circles and I'm thinking, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. But what do you do? I mean, that's what's happened. And so, and it's still hard work. I mean, there's part of me that still wants to play the negative things I heard
Sure.
Tuesday, but that's not going to serve me. That's going to attract more of that. I don't want that.
Right. Right.
Wednesday, because of all of that, yesterday, I went to my hairdresser and she was just diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm.
And I went to pay her for a haircut. And I don't say this to brag because we share our Wealth Wednesday stuff.
Yeah.
But she was talking about she didn't know what she was going to do. And so instead of giving her $35, I wrote her a check for 100. Well, I didn't say anything, but then she called me and she said, "You wrote me a check for $100." I mean, I couldn't do it without her knowing. And I said, "Well,
Right.
that's two haircuts that maybe you might not be able to do because of radiation and chemo." And she cried. That's what I want in my
Yeah.
life. I finally am starting to figure out it's not about income, although income's great and I need that and I need to replace my income to leave my full-time job. But it's not about that. It's about how many women are unseen, unheard, feel like they're drowning, and I can help them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And just remember, help who you used to be.
Yeah, I
right?
keep hearing you say
And
that.
that's a marching order, you know.
And will I have a
Powerful.
sucky month again? I shouldn't put that out there. I'll put that in my exercise tonight. Yeah, I probably will, but at the same time,
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear that part.
will I have a sucky month and not add customers again? Will that happen? Yeah, maybe. And maybe I shouldn't put that out there.
You shouldn't have that out there.
I'll go. I'll put that in my exercise tonight. I'll go counterclockwise and say it sucks, and But the thing is, you know, I feel like I still
And,
don't.
and just a step back, just
Okay,
to process that is so I'm very much against suppressing. So
yeah,
if you're
say it.
thinking that, then you need to address it. You need to express it and then express what you actually want. So I don't like you suppressing it. So I didn't want that to come across as no, no, don't say that. Because if you're thinking it, now eventually, here's the deal. Eventually, if you do this work and you keep focusing on what you want, you eventually stop thinking that, right? You don't have those thoughts anymore. And
Yay.
so it becomes like, you don't want antlers, but you don't think about having antlers, so you don't need to battle, like I don't want an antler. Like you don't think that way. So there's no reason to battle it. So the work is to do the work, noticing where you're thinking, oh, I just had a thought that I was going to have a bad month. Oh, I need to fix that. And so not hiding it, not suppressing it, and eventually you'll get to a point where that's just no longer an issue.
That's great. That's great.
It's awesome. Well, very cool.
Thank you so much. I mean,
Awesome.
if I was
So,
in Florida, I'd hug you, but I'm not.
aw.
Air hug, air hug.
Air hug. So I'm getting some people. Oh, let me 1 second. All right, let's let Lisa. I appreciate you. I look forward to hopefully we have an event at some point. You can hug me, and I can hug
Yeah,
you. And
yeah.
so, very cool. All right, Lisa. Everybody, drop her a comment if you got some value from that. And here we go. So I don't. I know many of you have seen me. Teach the clockwise counterclockwise deal, which is from, by the way, I always want to give him a shout out, which is from one of my mentors, Satyan Raha. Um, let's see if I can find this. Okay, I think this is it. I don't want to go through the exercise because it takes a little bit of time and we got a packed schedule here. Yeah, that's not it. Dang it. All right, 1 second. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. So anyway, all right. So let's go. Let's mosey on down. Let's bring out Mary. Mary, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit. We before we did our live coaching, where had you been stuck?
Results. So doing a lot of activity, like very consistent, massive activity, and not the results that I thought would come from that.
Okay. And
So
what's happened since?
it's really been a lot of a mindset journey, and I've learned so much. It's like how to just put it into a few minutes. But one recent aha was if you're really driven and you're working hard, but you're not having the results, what is something from your past? And my parents were very hard workers. I was the youngest of five. Big space between my oldest brother and me. And, not a lot of time. They were busy, they were working. My dad did two jobs. Well, he did a full-time job, and then he ran a 100-acre farm. So he'd be up at 5 a.m. So sick work ethic that way. But, am I correlating, massive, just working a lot and then no time, whatever that looks like. That's still in process. But one thing that I thought of, a kind of a fun metaphor, allegory, whatever you would say, analogy, is that
I failed English in high school, so I have no idea.
All this coaching that I've done with you, which has been transformational, honestly, I feel like, and you may or may not agree with this, but I feel like we're all like snow globes and you're just like shaking us up so that the snow like goes up and then it falls in a different place. And when I think of that snow, I think of limiting beliefs, habits, thought patterns that we're changing as we go along. So it's like, what is that? What is that version of us that will serve us better? And one area I'm getting better at is intention and the feeling. The feeling is a secret. So instead of just work, 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 really more on what I do want to create and having those positive thoughts and feelings. And I even do that for my family. I know you had mentioned you do that for others. And my son came home the other day and he said his college professor said, "Hey, I'd love for you to be a research assistant." So that was like unexpected in his life of like, wow, this could be really good as he's finishing
Nice.
his degree. So it's really that. And then the other thing is, where am I resistant? Where do I have triggers and a quick comeback from a trigger instead of, to Lisa's point, staying there for 3 days, whatever.
Right.
And then the resistance is, you said, being defiant to that resistance. And that's really powerful.
Yeah. So have you been able to create any new results yet, or are you still working on that?
Well, end of November, 2 days to finish out. I just went for it. And in 2 days, I created $3,000 in sales, which was a good 2 day period. Right
Is that better
now,
than normal? Is that
yeah,
like way better, 2%
yeah,
better?
yeah, way, way higher than normal.
Okay,
Definitely.
great.
Yeah. So, and then good momentum this month.
It doesn't sound like you're celebrating that. So
That's where I struggle. The feeling,
so I feel like you're reporting it, kind of downplaying it, not being emotional about it. And if you only realize that the more emotion you had about the good wins, the more good wins you'd have.
yeah,
And so, when we compare of, yeah, I made 3,000, but years ago I made more, or, I did this, but I could have done more, then we're actually not celebrating. We're not creating that emotion to have more wins. We're actually creating the opposite. We're creating the let's have more losses emotion.
yeah,
And so, and I'm going to give you two examples. So, one of the things that I focused on Jess and I coming in first in our dance competition, and we came in our division. We came in first in rumba and cha-cha, and now there was not a lot of people in our division. The old me would have been like, well, yeah, we did good, but there weren't a lot of people. Right. But because I understand emotions, I did not, I had the fleeting thought, but I kept my emotions high and celebratory and yay, yippee, awesome. The other day, one of the things that I focus on in my exercise is I focus on, better relationships with all family members. So the other day, for the first time ever, Jess's dad asked me, he goes, "Hey man, you want to go golfing sometime?" And so I thought that was really cool. And I'm like, yeah, we should do it. He may have asked me years ago, but I just wasn't tuned in, you know what I mean? But like for the first time since I've been tuned in, he asked me and I I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And a little thought was, I wonder if Jess asked him to do that. But I got rid of that because who cares? Who cares? Why does that matter? Why do I have to negate this win? So you don't have to negate wins. And you should prop them up. You should feel really, really good about them so you have more wins. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm going to have to dig into why I resist celebrating. And it's just next goal, next goal.
I bet I have an idea, and that's because you had 5 siblings.
Mm.
So when you have siblings, period, sometimes recognition and edification gets a little weird, because if you're over edified, then you feel bad because they're not. Am I right?
I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still have a program that, oh, when I sing my praises, when I toot my own horn, well, my siblings aren't getting that, and that makes them feel bad. So I'm making them feel bad. So I totally shouldn't celebrate.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But know that there is no correlation. That, maybe in the past, maybe as a kid, that might have been true, but there's no correlation now. So you celebrating and having more things to celebrate impacts more people, helps more people. So celebrate that. You celebrating does not hurt your siblings anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. Lisa's saying the same thing. Lisa's saying that in the chat.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Because we got to take our wins, and not, because if we take our win, something that we helped co-create, and we negate it, it's very confusing. It's very confusing to whoever you want to attribute it to, God, the universe, spirit, whatever you want to attribute to, whatever, right? The government, like whatever you want to worship, right? And so like, it's very confusing. It's like, I just see this board of directors and they're like, we gave her what she wanted. Why is she still negative? I don't know. Maybe that's not what she really wanted. Who knows? Maybe she wants to be miserable. I don't know. Right? So like as we're creating these wins, we got to be like, yay, yippee, awesome. Did you do Celebration Friday?
I do post sometimes. I should do it every week. I know, better than that. Let the universe know what they're giving me is awesome, and
yes,
not fight that for sure.
Yeah. And feel good about that. And so, and another thing that might be helpful is anytime you feel like you're getting in a funk or you're going a little negative, which is going to happens to me for sure, is I call upon my joy totem. So my joy totem is, sometimes it's Sabrina running across the yard. Sometimes it's Graham, laughing and doing, like I now have, we were doing, I don't know if I forget the song, but we were doing this song where it's like, if you're happy and you know it, peekaboo. And so, I'm doing peekaboo and he's just going like this. And so like, I can call upon that totem and I can generate joy. And so, you may want to search for those things of, what are these things that I can pull up to generate joy so that I feel better in the moment? Because if I do, then I'm going to have more things to be joyful about. Make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
So big win. Congrats. From lack of results, working hard, $3,000 in 2 days. That's awesome. Celebrate that. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. Give Mary some love. Drop some Mary love. All right. Awesome. Okay. So take a couple minutes. Any questions so far before I bring on our next guest? Yes, Skinnamarink-a-dink, Skinnamarink-a-doo. That's a good one with Graham. He's really good at that one. Yeah, it's really rare for someone to have like Mary, 5 siblings and not deal with recognition issues. It's rare, and it's and especially if you're the achiever sibling, if you're the sibling that did really well, then you very likely will find yourself in network marketing or find yourself as an entrepreneur or something like that, and you'll struggle with those things. All right, I don't see any questions. All right, let's just bring out Rhonda. Rhonda, how are you?
Well, I'm freaking out. I'm on live with D. Ray Higdon, so I am absolutely fabulous.
Awesome.
Congratulations on your dance competition wins. We here, me and my husband, we definitely root for you guys all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. Appreciate that. And so, Rhonda, just tell me, where are you at? Like, where are we at here, and how do you think I can help?
Well, I'm not Not recruiting. I have a hard time recruiting. Like now, prospecting, follow up. I could prospect all day long. And then I had Coach Jennifer Ryla for a while, and she pointed out some of my blind spots. Like, you're just doing it to check the box. And she helped me because I had a real hard time with follow up, and I've gotten better with that recently. But somewhere it gets caught in the limbo there. Like I can get the customers just fine, but I'm not building a team.
Okay. So what do you do to try to build the team?
Well, I prospect, I follow up. My content could be better. I have a Facebook group I post in. I'm not very consistent with my content, with my marketing and stuff, especially now that it's moved to the short form video. I just going through the 14-day challenges, just got comfortable doing the live. So I'm trying to move to adapting to the short form video. And which I was one of those who was like, I'm not going to be on the TikTok, but now I'll be adding the 1 minute influencer to my Christmas list there. I'm going to be getting that, you guys' course.
Cool. So what do you think? What do you think is the issue with why you don't want to recruit?
After watching, I watched one of your trainings the other day, and I've been just thinking about it for the last couple of days. You talked about Neville Goddard and going to how his coach was telling him just act as if you're already there. I think he was going to Barbados. Forgive me if I think that was the one. So I've been kind of doing that a lot the last couple of days because it was a recent training. But I guess in my head, I always think somebody isn't going to want to sign up for a business if they haven't tried the products. So that I always prospect for the business first and then fall back on the products if it's a no.
So are you good at getting customers to become reps?
No, I haven't even gone that far. I figured most of the time they would move up.
How long have you been doing this?
Consistently since Rank Makers Live last year.
Okay. And how many customers would you say you have roughly?
I don't know, 10, 11.
Okay. Have you gone to those customers and asked them if they wanted to be reps?
No.
Why not?
No. I don't know. I guess I haven't even thought about it. I never put thought to that.
So why are you doing the business? What's your big 1 or 2 reasons?
Well, I started out as a customer, and then I moved up for one because I just love the products and wanted to share them because it's hair and skincare is what I do. And it helped me a lot with all of that. So I wanted to share and be able to help others.
Is there a financial reason? Is there something you're hoping to accomplish or something that you're wanting to do more?
The financial part is always great. You want to earn money doing something that you love. But I mean, when I first moved up with my sponsor, it was basically you get a better discount. And then I actually decided, I do want to make money. I do want to build a business, have a team, and, be successful in this, which right at that time was when I found and joined Rank Makers and stuff too. So at first it was just for the better discount, love the products. And then I decided that I actually did want to build a team and be successful in network marketing.
So let's say that you build a successful business. What will you do differently? What would you change in your life?
What do you mean? Like personally
would you quit a job? I don't know if do you have kids?
Yeah, I have kids.
Do you do more for the kids? Like is there anything in particular? Like I would have them experience more or go to Disney, or is there any kind of, if I make more money, I'm going to do this?
If I make more money, I could definitely not have to work anymore, and I could retire my husband, and we could give our kids more experiences. Like you said, going on vacation and time is something we don't get back. So that's a big thing for me, is being able to let them have the most of their life and memories. And
so would you say your number one reason for wanting to build a profitable business is so that you can spend more time with your kids?
Yeah.
So if that is true, then why wouldn't we at least give the option to other parents for them to do the same thing?
You mean like for my customers?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I will now that we are talking about that, I will have to ask
Why
them.
not off, because you said, you get a bigger discount. Why not? They already love it. Why not help them get a bigger discount? And why not at least give them the option of building a business? You don't have to be pushy. You don't have to pressure them. You don't have to say, hey, knucklehead, you should join the business, right? You just say, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but you can actually make some extra money. You actually get a bit of a discount too. If you'd like to learn more, I'm happy to share it with you. And if not, totally cool.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and revisit that with them anyway, because of course they would want a better discount as well. I think with a lot of them, I started out prospecting them with the business and then sent them the sample and they signed up as a VIP. So I guess I just assumed that they already knew, and I'll have to revisit and to talk to them about that. I never really thought about it.
Yeah, one mistake that I think a lot of network marketers make is they think that the company's marketing is going to do the job for you. It doesn't. It just doesn't. They very likely aren't even aware that they could do it as a business, get tax savings, get a bigger discount. They probably have no idea. It's very, very likely they have zero idea. But even if your marketing is incredible from the company, which is very rare, even if that's so, they still need a human to tell them about it. They need someone to walk them through. Hey, you may or may not be aware of this, but do. And so that's you standing for them. That's you actually caring for them. Because you may have a customer right now that has 2 jobs, barely sees their kids, and just wishes they had mom care, not daycare.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. That was me when I first signed up. I didn't even know what network
Exactly.
marketing was. I heard of it
Exactly.
before I jumped into my company.
So, the 2 phrases that drive me in everything that I do is help the person you used to be. So I see me in others, whether it's, struggling with self-worth or struggling as a workaholic or, struggling from, childhood trauma, et cetera. And then the second phrase is we have to be as brave as the people who need us. So it is courage, it's bravery for you to ask the question, hey, are you aware that you can do this as a business, make some extra money, get a discount, et cetera? If you'd like to, I can share it with you. If not, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll have to go through that, because I've gotten great at the cold market prospecting. After you do so much of it, it's like it's nothing.
Yeah. So where else do you think that there's a block for you?
Well, my consistency with content. I'm trying to move over. I just got used to the Facebook Lives. My first live actually was one of your 14-day challenges, and I finally just got comfortable with that. And then now it's the TikTok, Instagram, and now Facebook Reels. And I did do the 7-day TikTok challenge, which I should have just continued, but with that, it was take these steps and use this sound. And then after that, that's where I just struggle to what do I do next? Because it's by myself, I guess. I'm not actually being told use this and do this. So, and it's easier. I know that doing the short video is actually simpler than doing the live, because it's like 30 seconds. But I struggle with creating that content and being consistent doing it and batching the content, like Coach Kaylee had mentioned in the challenge. She did a training on that, to batch it all in once and then do it weekly. And I just struggle being consistent with it.
So one suggestion is, when you want to change something, you have to change the way you describe it. And so I would, where you mentioned struggle, 10 times in that last, 3 statements. And so and I know that I'm coaching you, so I need to hear, what is it you're struggling with? So don't, let's not be weird, but I'm willing to bet you would say that same thing whether I was coaching you or not. Am I right? Yeah. So when you have something that you do struggle with, set it in the past. and say, in the past, I struggled with being consistent, but I'm getting better and better. And so I would do a combination of two things. One, learn to catch your language, right? So when you say, well, yeah, but I really struggle. Ooh. And this is part of that was how I changed, with, how I was showing up in dance, right? When I started, dance, and I was just terrible and horrible and everything. And I just stopped paying so much attention to my missteps and the things I wasn't doing right, and started, not paying so much attention to those things I was doing wrong, and instead started seeing myself as getting better and better, and being at a place that I actually wanted. And so, I would do that. And then number two, become defiant. So I have a feeling that when you're doing your business, you may lend more to, do I feel like doing it or not? Am I right?
Yeah.
And so become defiant, because I can recognize it because I had it. You have some self-belief issues. You do.
Yeah.
And one way, so there's a million things you can do for self-belief. I think one of the simplest ones is to become defiant. So when you don't feel like doing something, you doing it, it's like chipping away. It's like chipping that block of doubt. Like you have this great big block of doubt. Your self-belief comes from the gut. That's where those emotions are stored. They're stored in your lower, what they call centers. Okay. So your self-worth, your self-belief, sense of belonging, security is stored in your lower centers. And so right now you have this block of doubt that is, like a 1,000-pound weight that just lays on your stomach. Every time you defy an emotion, which is just trying to keep you safe and keep you who you are, let's not expand, let's keep you who you are. Every time you defy an emotion, you're chipping away at that block of doubt. And the more of that you can do, I really don't feel like reaching out to customers. I got to do it, right? So you create like a trigger of, when I don't feel like doing it, but I know it will help me, I got to do it. And the more of that you do, the better. This is one of the reasons that I know I've been asked quite a bit lately about, hey, should I do a 90-day run with my team? And the reason I'm not a big fan of that is because, just math, so many people start it, never finish it. What happens? They grow the doubt upon them. So now they believe in themselves less. And so, like, what can we do to start chipping away at that doubt? Just taking this little, picture a little chisel, like in, you ever see Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
He had those little rock tools. Just imagine that, like, you got this little pick, right? And you got this little hammer. And every time you do something you don't feel like doing, but moves you toward your goals, you're chipping away at that block, and you start to feel better and better. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do that with my workouts. I never feel like it, but I never miss a day either. I'm glad that you brought that up, because I never really paid attention to my language and how I was saying it in more of a negative way. Like, I mean, I know I have self-belief issues. I definitely know that, but like you had brought up that I had said that I'm struggling in this and this. I've never paid attention to that. So I'm glad that, I love knowing that that's a blind spot that I'll have to pay more attention to. How I work.
And something I shared yesterday, or maybe the day before, I don't know. But when you don't have the results you want in your life yet, you want to become vibrationally incongruent. So if I say all the things I don't want, and I'm like a back when we all believed the media was like for our good, I don't know what year that was, but back when we thought that they just reported the news, a lot of people, they just report the news. They're like, I don't have a good team. I don't have very many. I struggle with this and that. And the reason that they don't see movement in where they are is because they're vibrationally congruent with where they are. So if all I do is report, I'm overweight and, and I suck at this and I'm no good at that, and I don't have this and I don't have that, then there's really no reason for me to move, because I'm vibrationally congruent. If Vibrationally incongruent is when I start speaking differently than my current results, and I start feeling differently than my current results. So I became vibrationally incongruent when I started seeing myself as a good dancer. This hadn't changed yet, right? Because in the past I was just describing, yeah, I really suck and I've never danced, and I'm trying over here, and I would just focus on reporting the news of here's my feet and my hands, and they suck. And so when I started seeing myself and feeling myself as a better dancer, this had to catch up. This had to change. The results had to change to meet my vibration that I was at. And so the more of that you do, the more of it in the past I struggled with this, things start to change. All of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute. We're not stuck there anymore. Okay. All right. And so like you start to, to shift as you move more into who you really want to be, and focus more up here than your current results and what your senses are showing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I'll have to try that exercise. I think it was that Lisa had mentioned, the counterclockwise, clockwise, that you had talked about the other day as well. I haven't done that yet either, but definitely, like you said, act as if like you are acting as if you were a better dancer to catch up with where you want to be.
Yeah. And so keep us in the loop. Start catching your language more, and become defiant. Because just you being defiant is supposed to make you incongruent. As long as we just respond to our emotions, which we're all addicted to, by the way, we're all addicted to them, not just you, but we're addicted to our emotional response to stimulus. And as long as we operate from our emotions, which are left to their own design, just keeping us safe and small, right, not living into our potential, then we're going to stay right where we are, because we're like, oh, this is who we are. When you start defying that, when you start becoming defiant to, hey, you don't need to send another message, I'm going to send another message, right? All of a sudden, things start to change. You start to feel better about yourself, chip away at some of that doubt, and you start to elevate up.
Right. Awesome.
And you get to level up, like your shirt says.
Yeah, I might too. I actually wanted my Be the Reason one today, but it's actually, I wore it on Wednesday, so it's in the wash. I have so.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, Rhonda. Was that helpful?
Yes, it was definitely helpful.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right. Give Rhonda some love. Give her some love, Rhonda. Yay. And so any questions for me? I'll take a few minutes, see if there's any questions. And you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll just to let some others join in on the fun. Now that I'll give you some time to hit me with some questions, and I'll keep going if you want me to. Let me see what my schedule is first. Should probably check that. Oh, okay. So I got like 15 minutes. All right. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to take the next 15 minutes and take questions. You can ask me anything that you want, and I'll actually bring up, I'll go live on a couple other places. All right. So I'll give you a second. Feel free to hit me with questions. So Rhonda, she's gone, but people are saying thank you for your vulnerability. That's super cool. All right. All right. Rhonda, people are thanking you for your vulnerability. How cool is that? How cool is that? Okay. Mara asks, how long should we create content for a specific niche? I've been trying lots of different angles. So what have you been trying? Like clue me in there. Clue me in there. All right. Yeah, clue me in on what you're trying, and I'll do my best to answer that. Let me I know I'm distracted right now, right? Free Coaching Friday. All right. Let me just kick it off on the TikTok and the IG. All right. So love this question. Do vibrations control what you are attracting as far as I think you're saying business partners too. For sure. So here's how it works. And I think one of the greatest mindset trainers of all time is Neville Goddard. And so I learned this from him. But your emotions, think of them as the general contractor that is issuing commands to your subconscious. And your subconscious it's like a coder, right? So if you have a software company and you go to your coders and say, hey, this is what I want. Now, do the coders always agree with what you want? Not necessarily, but they work for you. So, this is what I want. So your emotions and whatever you're holding the most, right? If you're holding more of injustice, anger, jealousy, envy, whatever, then that's the general manager saying, got it. Hey, coders, we want more injustice. We want more jealousy. We want more envy. We want more anger. Please make that happen. And so the subconscious sends out these, waves and these vibrations, and that's what you're going to find more of. Okay. And so this is why it's so important for you to remain in gratitude or joy or whatever. And, the other day, I was very proud of myself. The other day, I got what would typically be considered bad news. Someone called me and said, hey man, we were going to go with you on this project, but we got to go a different route. And I'm sorry, man. I didn't. And without thinking about it at all, I said, no problem. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And then I stopped and I'm like, wow, I didn't feel any negative emotion toward that. The old me would have been very upset. You remember how Lisa was saying that? Lisa was saying how the people she works for said something negative to her and how that would have knocked her out of the game for 3 days. Like I was like, wow. Like I didn't hear what the other person said for like a minute or two because I was marveling in my not being affected by a typical negative, news kind of thing. And so your emotions, I should say, your emotions are what's being propagated. So whatever emotion you're holding the most of, you are telling your subconscious, the non-judgmental partner, I want more of that. I want more of that. And as long as you feel like the victim to your emotions, they just run me. Right? Then you're just going to keep getting the same crap. You're going to keep getting the same crap. You're going to keep, because you're addicted to your emotions, you're going to keep having the same reaction that's going to propagate the same kind of instances that's going to, right? So it's a deadly cycle. So step one, get in freaking charge of your emotions. Notice, stop for a second. Okay. And this is, you'll learn your patterns, you'll learn your programs. If you just start to become defiant to your natural response. So a program that I created as a kid, unawareingly, not knowingly, was that I'm not a priority. So I've projected that in every relationship I've ever had, whether it's business, whether it's personal, doesn't matter. I've projected that. So becoming aware of that, my wife will do something and guess what? That program will fire. Oh, I'm not a priority. But I see it and I say, hey, nice try, buddy. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing your game. I'm not a victim. You don't boss me around. I boss you around. So if I catch a negative emotion attempting to fire, I can switch it up and I can pull up what I call a joy totem. So a joy totem for me might be my son Graham, playing peekaboo. He doesn't know, he does this basically. And, or it might be my daughter running across the backyard, right? So I'll pull up something of joy to remain in a high vibration. So now, because of this awareness, this hyper awareness of my emotions, and that I'm in control, not the emotion. So now I know when I dip, when I dip in emotionally, it's a red alert, because I know that if I dip, I'm now getting more of that, and I don't want to get more of that. So I will correct it. I will address it, correct it. Okay. I don't remain there, and I certainly don't go downward in downward spiral that I'm eating ice cream and I'm, sad face. No, you have to gain control. And the step one is you becoming defiant to your immediate emotional response. And so this is a good time to share this. Is there, someone said a feedback loop? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Oh, okay. So let's say it's Christmas time, right? Merry Christmas. And let's say that you're driving around, you go, Christmas Eve or the 23rd or whatever, and you're driving around the mall and the parking lot is packed. You're annoyed. You've been driving around. It seems like, 30 minutes, and you're driving around. Oh God, where the hell's the parking spot, right? You're about to illegally park somewhere and you see a spot. It's right up ahead. It's actually close to, whatever. JCPenney, is that still around? I don't know. Sears, is that still around? Who knows? Toys R Us. Okay, none of them around. And so you see this spot. Yay, no one's around. You put on your blinker, right? That's like calling shotgun. Done deal. Put on your blinker. Bought and sold. Put on your blinker and you go, you're happy. You're like, yay, finally, I get to do this darn shopping. And this little red sports car pulls in there, whips right in front of you, almost hits you. You have to slam on the brake, and then it pulls into that parking spot. What's your immediate emotional response? Probably not happy, are you? Probably a little pissed off, aren't you? And so you roll your window down. You're about to give them a piece of your mind. And out comes your pastor, or out comes your kid's teacher. Are you able to alter the emotion, or you just let them have it? Which one? You probably are able to handle it. So you have the ability. You have the ability to handle your emotions. You're just not taking the time to do it. You're just tumbling through life, this emotional ball of I'm just a victim of my emotions. And it is an addiction. It's an addiction you got to break. If you want to get to a place you've never been, you got to break that addiction. Tiffany's hopping mad, yelling obscenities. But again, whoever, right? Maybe it's your father-in-law, or it's your, whatever. Who is that person that you just wouldn't yell at, right? Maybe it's the nun, right? Whatever. But there is a person on the planet that you're able to control it. Okay. So you have that ability. It's just you're not exercising it. And the more that you build that muscle. So, the other day, this is actually maybe a month ago or so, my wife and I, we were watching this movie, and it was, I forget what it's called. I think it's called The Power of Your Heart or something like that. And they were sharing this lady was recanting her story about how was it Nigeria, where there was all those like a million people were killed, when there was this like race warfare, and I'm trying to Rwanda, right? So in Rwanda, when they had this race war of the certain people against the certain people, and they literally these people that were given tools by the government went door to door killing the opposite, the people they didn't like. I know I'm missing some details here. Very traumatic story, very heart-wrenching. And I remember, I remember getting pulled into feeling very sad and angry at the same time. But I know whatever emotion I'm feeling gets propagated. So if you follow me on, Instagram and Twitter, you probably notice from time to time, I post an anti-government thing because I just think they're not the answer to anything ever. And so, but I can tell you this, even when I see a politician do something very knuckleheadish, I don't get emotional about it and angry about it, right? I'm aware of it. I see it. I may share it, but I'm not angry about it and injustice and all this stuff, because I don't want more of that. I don't want to have more of that stuff that I'm noticing now, that I'm aware of now. So you got to be careful. So we were watching this show, and I feel myself, getting angry. I feel myself getting sad. I feel it happening. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's a movie. Yes, it wasn't fair. Yes, it's not true. I don't want more of this. Let me observe and be aware and learn, but not get negatively emotional about it. And so I turned to my wife, and she's like, in tears. And I'm like, babe, just remember, whatever emotion you hold on to, you have to get more of that. And I know that your answer to that may be, well, that's just being human. Okay. You're just being human. Well, I don't think that we need more sadness, anger, envy, jealousy, injustice that we're attracting. So let's make this the best experience possible, right? Let's focus on our joy. Let's focus. We can learn this stuff, but just have a safe distance, have a little bit of a bubble where you're not sucked into, because you're being attacked this way all day long from the media, for sure, politicians, etc. You're being attacked this way. So if you're just human, you are out of control. If that's your answer, if you're saying, I'm just human, man, I see a dog get tested on and killed, that makes me feel bad. You got to have a bubble, because there's a never-ending supply of injustice in the world. You have to have a bubble. What is it that you want? And maybe what you want is better solutions. Maybe it's awareness. Maybe it's things that have different alternatives, right? To help people. And so you need to get into control, because without that, you're just tumbling through space. You're just tumbling down the wheel. And so I hope that was helpful. I answered 2 questions. So I appreciate you so very much. I got to jump on my next meeting. Happy Friday. Merry Christmas. If I don't talk to you, feel free to share this if you got value. And I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.